Okay. So everyone, we are on the same page. Shall we go ahead and start?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, okay. So this is a 30 to 40 day program, 35 days approx, or maybe 40 days. Here and there plus or minus 5 days. Depending on the installations and configurations, it may take some time. And for this, we should have a basic knowledge of SQL and Linux operating system knowledge. So I believe you all have some Linux commands knowledge, right?
Yep. When you say Linux, Unix is okay, isn't it?
Yeah. Commands, whatever it is required for your operating the environment, that is sufficient.
No problem.
We use generally CP, LS, and other stuff, same commands, whatever you use for your Unix. Because there are different Unix variants like SunSpark, Sun Solaris, IBM AX, HP Unix. These are all variants of Unix. Okay.
Yeah.
And Linux is another stream.
Yeah.
And in Linux, we have Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay. And we have other variants of Linux like Ubuntu, CentOS, Mandriva, SUSE, and there are other Unixes, other Linux, and even from Oracle also they have released their own Linux version, which is a cloned version of Red Hat Enterprise Linux, which is very much well accepted in the industry. That's called as OEL, Oracle Enterprise Linux. Okay. Any one of that they have, by and large, they are use the same commands. They're all variants of Unix. Especially we go for our trainings OEL, Oracle Enterprise Linux, for Oracle database. Okay. And
so do you have any knowledge? Do you have any link for that, Shankar? Because as far as my knowledge goes, I never worked on a Linux environment. In the sense, I never connected to Linux environment. But Unix, yeah. I mean, Sun Solaris, HP.
So, which OS you have worked with?
Sun Solaris and HP. Yeah, I mean Unix. I think both the versions.
They are
both the flavors.
Yeah, they are same. Okay. Your name, please?
Srihari.
Srihari. Okay. They are all same. No problem, Srihari.
Okay.
You can go with this knowledge. Some Unix knowledge should be there, whether it is HP Unix or IBM AX or Sun Solaris or AT&T C Unix or whatever.
No, I'm talking about the Linux part.
No,
Linux,
they are all same. They are all same. Linux has come from Unix only.
Oh, okay.
Okay. They are all
using it, but I never tried connecting it and playing with it.
No. They are all same. Not a problem. What commands you use generally?
Usually we use CD. We find the files. Grep command we use.
That's all. Here also same.
Yeah. Okay.
They're
You're telling us from AT&T Unix, what is that?
Pardon?
You're telling something AT&T Unix.
Yeah. There is first the mother of Unix from AT&T, Bell Laboratories. They started the Unix on for the C language by Mr. Dennis Ritchie, His Excellency, and there they started there, and on which the C was being invented. Correct. So that's where it was started. So from there, every company has taken their flavors, and they have their own kernel, and they use the main kernel of AT&T, and from there they have started. HP company took it, and they call it HP Unix, and IBM has took that Unix, and they call as AIX, and Sun Microsystems, they have taken that, they call as Sun Solaris. Okay, and open community general public license Linux, that's called Red Hat. Okay, all took from that only, right? So they're called derivatives, or in other terms we call as variants of Unix. They're all from the same family. Okay, so that's the reason I told that it's from AT&T. Okay.
Okay.
If any one of you can communicate to me, that is enough. Shall we go ahead?
Yes.
Okay, okay, done. We are about to go. And so that is the basic knowledge is required. We need a basic SQL and Linux commands to go ahead for this DBA training. And these are all the course contents we used to cover in this DBA program. First one is architecture. Before this architecture, we try to do this installation and configuration. We do it on all you have your laptops, right? Or desktops, any one of you. We try to do it in one of your system. We need a...
Okay, we have desktop.
Okay, okay. Well, anything will work for us because I try to install in one of your systems so that everyone can see and they can do on their own systems.
Okay.
Desktop or laptop. Okay. And we need around 150 GB of your hard disk, a separate drive. Let me show you my system, how it has been configured. So this is my system. One is for DBA. So this is a separate drive. So give it for 150 GB so that whatever you do it in this drive only, E drive, so that your other personal data and D and C will not get disturbed. Okay. So we'll do it as we give a separate drive for this, and around we allocate 150 GB of your hard disk. And in that we install Oracle VirtualBox. That's called Oracle VM Box, like this. This is from Oracle Corporation, virtualization like VMware. And in that we install 2 operating systems, that is of Oracle Enterprise Linux 5. Okay. And on that we install Oracle database 11g release 2. Okay. Like this we have Linux 1 and Linux 2. Okay, can you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Like this we try to install, and we go ahead in our training program. So here first we install VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox. On that we install 2 operating systems, that is Linux OEL 5, Oracle Enterprise Linux 5. On that we install Oracle Database 11g Release 2. I will give you the link. You please register in the with your mail IDs in the Oracle OTN community, and you download the respective software, and I will help you how to install that software. I will walk you through. Okay, it will take 4 hours approximately to do this VMbox installation, and afterwards OS installation. Then afterwards we have to connect to the Oracle repository. We have to get the using mutility. We get all the repositories updates from the Oracle site, and then we try to install that database. That's Oracle. So all this process will take around 3 to 4 hours. So we do in a piecemeal. First we'll do it to VMbox, then OS. Then in the second half we'll go with database installation. Okay, this is our plan of action. This itself will take around 3 days of time, taking per day 1 hour, 1.5 hour, depending on our availability. Okay, and
so,
I will. Yes.
Shankar, can I repeat it again? First we will be installing VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox.
Exactly.
Then you said 2 operating systems. And then OEL version 5.
No, that OS nothing but your OEL 5.
Okay, so
Oracle Enterprise Linux 5. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then we'll be installing the database, right? After that.
Exactly.
Okay.
So for that you need to register in the Oracle site. It's a free of cost.
Okay.
You need to log into that oracle.com and you register there, so that it will allow you to download the respective database software for educational purposes.
Okay.
Okay, it's a disclaimer legal. So from the Oracle site. So that's the reason I give to you people. I give the links, and it is your responsibility to register there and download the respective software.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So please do that needful.
Okay.
And once you are ready, and with this setup which I showed you now in my system, then we can go ahead and start the program. So I will install in one of your system. So you decide among yourself on whose system I should, and from there everyone can follow the steps, and they can try it on your systems. Okay, everyone can see that, right, while installing? Well, one person will do, other people can watch and they can practice at their systems.
Yep.
Is it okay, everyone? Say yes. If
Yes.
any questions, you can raise a doubt.
Actually, we can't, isn't it? Because we are into different places now.
No, you can share your PC, right?
Oh, okay.
See, if one of you try to do that, that person I will make you the presenter and organizer. That person will share their screen to all of us.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, like how you people are seeing my screen, similarly that person will share his screen to all of us, and from there I give the instructions. That person will try to type the commands in the chat, and everyone can see that, and they can do at their own desks or at their own laptops, whatever the availability hardware devices you have. Now it is clear?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any questions?
So installation is okay, Shankar. So regarding, you are saying some 35 days. So can you talk about what you are going to do? I know we got a course, a PDF file where all the topics are mentioned.
Okay, we'll do that. So till now there are no questions, right? We are all on the same page. Okay.
Yes.
So here after this installation, then we go with this architecture stuff. In this we'll discuss what is physical structure, what is a logical structure, how they are both are being combined at one stretch. We'll see what are the physical logical structures, what are different file systems we have. Next we'll go for memory structures, what is SGA, what is PGA, okay, and what are the different background processes we have, what are the mandatory background process, what are optional background process, and what is Oracle server, what is user process, what is server process, okay, and what is data dictionary, what are different categories we have, what is static, what is dynamic, okay, and whenever we issue a select star from EMP at the SQL prompt, how it gets processed internally and we are getting the output. So internally what are the different structures it has been involved in the memory side, and what are the different phases of execution it has been working on. We'll look into that during our SQL statement execution session. Once we complete this, we are done with the architecture, okay, and next we'll go with the startup and shutdown modes, okay, and what are different states to start the database and different states to down the database, and how can we create a database. There are different ways to create a database using GUI, graphical user interface. Other method is manual script, and other method also we have OMF, Oracle Managed Files. This is very rarely we use, but being a subject to discussion at the theoretical grounds, we discuss on this about OMF. We try to work it out on GUI, because once we install this VMbox and OS, then database, we go with GUI. At that time we come to know how to do this database installation. And next we'll see manually how to create a database using command create database, okay, that we'll see here. Next is table space management, user management, and in table space management we'll see what are the different table spaces we have, what are the various types we have, and what are the different types of table spaces that are existing, and what are the different content types we have, and what are different statuses of table spaces, different modes of table spaces, on what are the various options we have in the table space that we'll see, and different block sizes, what is the default block size in 9A and 10G, and what it follows in 11G as well. And we'll see that how to add a data file, how to resize your data files. We'll see some of the commands practically in table space management. Next comes to user management, how to create a user, what are different users we have, what are DBA users, who are the application owners, application users, authentication, authorization, voice level authentication, and what are the privileges, what are the different types of privileges we have, what are the admin option, what are object level privileges, what is your role, and what is a privilege, what are permissions, what is a quota profile, etc. We'll see all those stuff, okay. And next we'll go to other topics. There is a small topics like renaming a data file, renaming an instance, renaming a database. That also we'll see in between. And we'll work on storage management. What are the different storage mechanisms that are available in Oracle database, and what are different objects which store only definition, which store definition plus data. Okay, and here we'll see in terms of segments, what is the different types of segments we have, which are space demanding objects. Okay, what are different storage parameters, what each parameter will signify. Okay, and here we'll see what are the different types of table spaces we have, LMT and DMT, what those are all, what is static and dynamic. Okay, and what is structure of your data file, how it is, what are the different contents that we have in the data file. So that we'll discuss in the space and storage management. And we'll also see on this undo management. I believe we have come across something on undo. Up to 9i, before 9i we call as rollback segment, table space or rollback segment. From 9i onwards we call as undo. That's called as undo management. We'll see what are the different states of undo, why the undo has come into picture, what are the disadvantages that we have with the rollback segment, how undo has been overcome there, what are the 3 mandatory parameters that we need to set in your parameter file related to undo, that we'll look into that. How does undo segment or called undo management will work when you keep the table space online or offline, how it happens. And we look into the snapshot to old errors. Okay, and how to avoid those errors, we'll look into that. And we look into flashback technologies. Mostly we look into flashback, draft table, and other areas, query, version query, transaction query, we discuss at the high level on the theoretical grounds. Because mostly in the data centers and real-time applications, we come across the problem by mistake, we try to drop a table. So we look into that, how can we record that by mistake if anyone drops a table. And we'll also see what is parameter file and also SP file, that is server parameter file, and what are the differences we have between parameter file and server parameter file. Okay, and OMF, which I told you while database creation, we'll look into that. What are the disadvantages that are being associated with Oracle managed files? So what kind of limitations are there in OMF, and what are the best way to go with database creation? That we'll see theoretical terms on the OMF. Next important topic is networking. Networking is 2 servers. Why we are using is for the networking purpose. We are installing 2 operating systems, right, in VirtualBox, 2 Linux operating systems. This will be used for our networking. So that will be a foundation for our RMN, for the backups, recovery manager, and also for your data guard, for your disaster recovery planning. So that's the reason we go with networking and RMN configuration. So which is one of the important area. Okay. Yeah. So you understood about this networking which I told you?
Yeah. Maybe we should. That's okay. I mean,
next topic is networking.
Okay.
In the networking, that is a basic for our what you call for our backups, RMN, recovery manager. This networking is important, where we configure listener and the TNS names. There are 2 files related to networking. So we need to communicate the we make sure the configuration is correct so that the 2 servers can communicate. That's called networking. That's the reason we are installing 2 servers, Linux servers, in our VM box. So that will be helpful for our networking, for RMN as well as for our data guard configuration. Okay. And next topic is database links, materialized views. We discuss on this on the theoretical terms, because this we use for distributed databases, these 2 topics. And depending on the availability, we try to look into that. DB links, and materialized views, what those are all, what are the different types of database links we have, and what is a materialized view, and what are the different options that are available with the materialized view. That we'll try to look into that. Okay. And next our topic will go for control file management and read log file management and RQ log file management. These three are one of the important topics, because when you're talking about the database, the main three files we look always is control files, database files, and read log files. Okay, we call as CRD files: control files, read log files, and data files. So we should know how to manage these three files. So we'll see about control file management, read log file management, and RQ log management. Can you able to see this?
Yes.
Okay. And in this, we'll see read log file management. What are the different states of read log file? How can we add a log member, log group? And similarly, control file. Why it is become very important in a database, this control file. How we can have multiple copies of control file. Okay, that we'll see. And next, there's other small topic called how to renaming the instance. That's what I told you, right? There are three small topics: renaming a database, renaming an instance, okay, and renaming a data file. So in between we have these small topics apart from this. So we look into that as well. Next, how to drop a database. Again, that's a small topic. Next important topic is backup and recovery, as I told you. And in this, we'll discuss what are the different types of backups we have, and what is physical backup. In the physical backup, there are two categories: cold backup, hard backup, and logical backups. That's called traditional export import. And advanced topic is data pump, extension to logical backup. That we'll look into that. Next, anyway, I told about RMAN, Recovery Manager. That will be a very important topic, because that's an industry standard recognized backup recovery tool that we use for the backup and recovery purposes. That we'll discuss. That networking and RMAN will go hand in hand. Okay. Then we'll see some of the scenarios, recovery scenarios. Next is how to transport a table space from one server to other server. That we will look into that. Okay. And next important topic is performance tuning. Okay. And in the performance tuning, we have different topics. So that one of the important topic is database reorganization. That was kept separately because of its importance. Because that's simple. That's in simple. It was called as database reorg. Okay. So what are different steps involved? How to do that? We'll look into that. Generally, this will be done by a primary DBA, not by everyone. With the proper approvals from your application owners and your respective managers in your performing organization. This we perform database reorg. Okay. And the next in the performance tuning, because of its importance, I kept it separately, database reorg. And in this, we'll discuss on SQL tuning, memory tuning, explain plan, TKPROF, AW or ADDM, what those are all, and how it helps in tuning of your database and queries. Okay. And here we take some sample report of AWR and we try to interpret that outcomes of it. If you try to generate that, what are the areas we try to look into that? What are the intricacies involved in this? How we can eliminate the bottlenecks? That we'll look into those reports. And the output of AWR will be the input for ADDM. So ADDM will give the recommendations in tuning of your database. That we'll try to look into that. Next is ASM, Automated Storage Management. We'll see what is ASM. There are some theoretical discussions. And also we try to see how to configure ASM. Okay. What are the different redundancy modes we have in ASM? What are different RAID levels we have? and we'll see what are the background processes that are involved related to ASM, and also RDBMS background process related to ASM, and what are the different parameters we need to set in the ASM. That we'll look into that. And next topic is database cloning. Okay, so there are two types in this: cold backup cloning and RMAN cloning. Out of this, RMAN cloning is widely used in the industry because no need to shut the database, unlike in cold backup. So we'll see how to clone the database. And next is installation and OEM. This we'll see before itself. Okay, as I told you that we'll install our virtual box, on that we install operating system Linux, and we install the database and we configure OEM, Oracle Enterprise Manager. We'll see these two topics before, then we go for this architecture and other stuff. As I told you, in between you will get some minor topics: renaming a database, instance, and database data file. Okay, that we'll see. There are some 4 or 5 levels of commands. We'll see that how to rename a database. And there is other topic called row chaining and row migration. We'll see what is row chaining, why it occurs, how we can avoid, whether we can avoid or not. Okay, what kind of solution that does Oracle gives us in eliminating these row chaining and row migration issues. Okay, and finally we'll go with data guard, which is an advanced concept. Performance tuning, data guard, and ASM, these are all advanced topics in database administration. Okay, in this data guard is nothing but your disaster recovery planning technique. Say for example, you have your server somewhere in Texas, okay, and we have your development server somewhere in Hyderabad. So Texas server being a primary database and Hyderabad server being a standby database, we need to configure these two using data guard methods. Say for example, if something goes wrong at the primary server, some disaster or some calamities might happen due to some tornadoes, hurricanes, or earthquake, something might happen there, and your data center has been lost, or your building has been crashed, or your complete server has been gone. So then immediately this standby server in Hyderabad will become primary, so that all the users across the globe, if it's a mission critical application, then they should be able to access the data with minimal downtime. Okay, that's the reason we try to configure that here in the standby database which is in Hyderabad. So that is called as failover situation, which is not in our control. So we make sure that these two servers are being in place and there is a continuous synchronization of data logs from primary to standby database to for the recovery purposes. That's called as disaster recovery planning. And there is other technique called switchover. Switchover means manually being a DBA, we try to make the primary database down and we make the standby as primary for our DR drills. In the corporations generally, in the large corporations generally, we try to perform this DR drill so that there will be not any issue right in 8 times. If something goes wrong, we need to be able to recover. Like 5 drills, we perform some drill operations so that we make sure that this primary and the standby servers, they are all being tuned with the respect to data. If something goes wrong, we can able to revert back to primary to standby and standby to primary. So we perform some drill which we call as being a DBA, we make manually primary as standby and standby as primary. That's called switchover. Likewise, we discuss on the production modes, what are different modes we have, what is maximum production mode, what is maximum availability mode, and what is maximum performance mode. In the data card, we'll look into that. And we configure physical standby database, okay, and how to convert physical standby to logical standby, that we'll look into that. And what is snapshot standby and what is active data guard, which are 2 11g features, okay, that we'll see. So these are all about data guard. And with this we complete our syllabus for 35 days approximately, maybe here and there plus or minus 5 days. Okay, this is complete course curriculum, and after this training program I give my soft copy notes for you people, which has all the installations and configurations. Okay, that will be handy for you. and next I will give some interview questionnaire for you. Okay.
Okay.
For your next career progression purposes. So these are all the give back for you after your training. So any questions? So this is about Oracle 11g DBA.
Yeah, I think
so does it Hafiz or yeah please. Who is this?
Yeah, Shankar. This is Srihari.
Yes, Srihari.
Actually, 2-3 things came to my mind. I don't know whether they are appropriate or not, but I want to just tell you those things.
Tell your
we
ideas.
Can discuss.
No problem.
Sure. One thing is, I think we are working in a data warehouse environment currently, so we are extensively using partitioning and compression techniques in our site. So I think if you throw some light on those from a DBA perspective, I mean, I know we use them and we have a basic idea of, I mean, all of us in the sense when I say we, all 4 of us are the same team. So
you are all same company?
Yes, same company, same team also, data warehouse team.
Okay. All are PLSQL developers.
PLSQL and ODI also. We use ODI also. Not all, maybe I think a couple of us are currently using Oracle Data Integrator for ETL purposes. So I think 2 things is, I think this compression and I think partitioning. If you can throw some light from DBA perspective, I mean, what are the maybe advantages of using different types of partitioning, and what are the regular problems you face when we use those as a DBA? I mean, you can suggest sometimes to developers that, okay, use this way. What are some indicators you can follow in terms of partitioning and compression also? When to compress, when not to compress, what are the problems, I mean, usual problems people face. Because as a developer, we don't know, we just compress and DBA will tell us, oh, really, this is not the correct way of compression for this type of data. So such kind of thing, those are 2 topics that came to my mind. And the third one is, I think, usually we are using Toad as a tool in our site. So if you can throw some light on
that's a favorite tool for the developers.
So you can throw some light, how to read, let's say run a long running query, how to tackle that, I mean, based on Toad data, how can I read Toad data and utilize the data to come to a conclusion that, okay, I can do this, and improve this, something like that. I mean, the useful things as a DBA and as a developer for us, I mean, to come to a conclusion that, okay, this can be improved by getting the information, reading the information from different tabs in Toad, something like that. I mean, that's one. Those are the 3 things that came into my mind. Just think about those. Maybe we can incorporate those as you go by. I mean, it's not that you have to start one day, 1 or 2. But as we go by,
no problem. So you want to say Toad tool query explain plan how to read?
Yeah, we will use explain plan. I mean, we use Toad for that. And one more thing is, as I said, what tabs to read when you are executing a program or running a long running query. Sorry, executing a long running query. What tabs to look at and what is it? I know when I see those tabs when I'm running a query under my session, I see different tabs there. What is the current execution statement? What is, I mean, different memory aspects of it, or the number of updates, number of the blocks that got loaded into memory, all those things. I mean, if you go by tabs there on the Toad, I think it will be helpful for us. I mean, as developers, we have been using that tool for a long time, but many of the times we don't know how to read it. I mean, at least
what tabs in the Toad?
When I run a execute a long-running query, I see some. I'll get back to you. Maybe I can send you a screenshot where you can.
I use it Toad. Just I would like to know which you are focusing on. In the once you execute a query, you will get a plan, right?
The plan is one thing. I know you're going to cover it as part of the tuning aspect you have mentioned. You are saying explain plan and all that. But my one more suggestion is, when I execute a long-running query in Toad, when I go to my session, I see a lot of tabs to the right side when I highlight my session.
Okay. Let me show that screenshot. Okay.
Sure.
So that we'll see depending on our availability and our convenience. We'll try to incorporate some of them, but not all. We'll see that. Okay.
Just one of
we do our
best
to accommodate. Okay.
Sure.
And do you have any other sessions apart from this?
Hi Shankar, this is Kiran here.
Yes, Kiran.
Everything looks good in the course curriculum, but only one thing, do you teach about RAC also?
RAC is a separate curriculum, and actually the topics which I cover is Oracle Basic SQL, Advanced SQL, next Oracle Core DBA, next is Oracle RAC DBA, next is Linux commands and installations and configurations for Core DBA as well as for RAC DBA, and I work on some remote projects. So this is about my complete curriculum. And Core DBA, RAC DBA, they are separate different streams of training programs. And this is completely Core DBA. So RAC DBA is again a 2-week program, maybe 12 to 14 days. Okay, that's a different strategy. Without this proper understanding of DBA, I don't advise to go for RAC DBA.
Yeah, we know that. That's what. But if it is part of that, because normally if you go out everywhere, you will talk about RAC.
RAC. Yeah, no. First we complete this Core DBA. That's a different curriculum course for 2 weeks. Okay. So because I will take that also. Okay.
And there are a couple of things. Yeah, sure, Cynthia.
Yeah, please go ahead.
A couple of things also, because normally in today's world everybody is talking about Golden Gate and in the security purpose the Kerberos also, which is as common as normally we implemented in one of my clients previously.
Okay.
So do you cover anything? Just to give an idea on Kerberos, how to implement or something?
What is that? Kerberos?
Yeah, Kerberos for security methodology.
Okay, that I don't cover. Okay, because that's out of the scope of our discussion. Because that's require a lot of experience and knowledge, and moreover that implementation is very difficult here. Only very rare, only BFS domain somewhere we use.
Yeah, right. The BFS domain.
BFS domain generally we use banking, financial services, and insurance, but not by everyone. Even sometime in defense, in Indian government, I work for them. So there we use their defense systems on for space research organizations in NASA or ISRO.
Okay.
Sometimes there we use, but not everywhere. It is not allowed by government regulations. Okay. By NAC committee, they don't allow. Okay. As per gap regulations of India and US, better we don't work on those areas unless we have proper approvals from Ministry of Defense and Ministry of Home Affairs and other finance departments, because there's a lot of security involved there.
Because one of our client who is into capital markets, Oracle suggested to implement Kerberos.
Okay. I told you, right? It's mostly they use for BFSI.
Yeah, right.
And we'll see on the theoretical terms, but implementation is implementation is I doubt.
Yeah, implementation might not be possible, but at least in theoretical terms or something.
Yeah. Golden Gate, all that stuff we can discuss what those are all. I try to run through my slides on my presentations in Oracle. Okay. With Oracle Corporation I was with, so I try to run through some slides if possible. Okay.
Sure.
And so all of you with these topics, whatever the requests you people are making, we'll talk at the end of our sessions.
Sure.
Not in between.
Okay.
Because first we should complete on our target syllabus. Then at the end of the training, in the last 1 or 2 days, we can discuss on those areas, your partitioning or your Toad and your Kerberos, Golden Gate, etc. Maybe take couple of days of time. Okay. Once we say everything was done, then we switch to these areas. Correct. First we try to complete whatever mandate we have in front of us. Then definitely for sure we are going to discuss at the end of our training program. So any more questions or suggestions or anything, you are please welcome. We can add it here in our forum.
Shankar, Satish here.
Yes, Satish.
Are you going to cover the what kind of setup configure you're going to cover in the SQLnet? Naming method like LAP.
we are going to cover networking like a listener and DNS name between two servers communication.
Okay.
By
What
configuring the
method you are going to
IPs,
cover?
we go with the normal method. There is no LDAP. Okay.
Okay.
We go
I mean,
with normal
not-
traditional methods. DNS names and listener.ora. We configure and we take it from there.
So you're not going to cover SQLnet and everything.
Pardon?
SQLnet.
SQLnet.ora, that's one of the file, right? The SQLnet we use to connect you from client system to your server systems. I am talking about networking between two servers, not from client machine to server machine. Okay? So the two servers should be communicated through networking by configuring listener and the DNS names so that you can access the data of both the servers. Okay? That's what we are going to cover here. So that will be a base for your RMAN, recovery manager, and also a base for your data guard. So while discussing RMAN, we'll cover this listener and the DNS names configuration files. That's about networks.
In the cloning, you mentioned only two ways, right? Cloning using the cold backup and RNet. So we don't use the hot backup to clone the database.
See, cloning, generally we go with these two as per industry standards. What you are saying is hot backup. That's used for backups only. Okay, we don't use for that. If you are making your database in arclog mode and you are taking the hot backup, online backup, then we go with this hot. Okay, and this cloning is different from backup. Okay, we take only the changes whatever it was given there in the backups. Whereas in the cloning we have a complete image of your production database, and we replicate on your development servers using the mechanisms, cold backup and RMAN.
Yeah, but in cold backup, you cannot shut down the database, right?
Where?
In cold backup, you have to shut down the database and back up the data files, right?
Yes.
In real-time scenario, you will not shut down the production database. Am I right?
Exactly. You are right.
In such cases, we have to go by the hot backup only to clone the database. For example, you want to set up the QA environment, development environment. So we have to go by, without shutting the database, we have to clone the database. In such case, how do you handle that?
See, I told two methods. One is cold backup, other is RMAN. We go with RMAN. That's an industry standard tool to clone, where you don't need to shut the database.
Okay.
Okay. Is it clear? We'll go with RMAN.
Okay.
In real time, we don't go with cold backup, even though it's a development box. We go with RMAN. Okay. The other reason we are learning
most of the
two
projects
techniques.
will not have RMAN everywhere. Very few projects I will handle the RMAN, I think.
Okay. Then if you want to clone it, then you take an export import. You refresh your database with your export and import, or with your data pump, or you go with your hot backup, whatever it means you follow. As per your SLAs with your client, you follow that. But what I am discussing here is, I am discussing as per Oracle recommendations. Whatever my company recommend, I will try to train you in those areas. Okay, there's an industry standard tools we follow here, and cold backup on RMAN.
So you're mentioning there are scenarios, recovery scenarios. How many scenarios are you going to cover there?
We discuss some of them, but not all, because I try to give you some links. You try to follow and have your practice at your free time in your lab. Okay, I try to cover some of the scenarios okay, but not all, okay, and you can practice at your times. I give you a soft copy, okay, and I try to give you some links, which we got it from the web, so you can practice that, okay, recovery scenarios. That's for your lab exercise.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How many scenarios you can cover in the lab? I mean,
We discussed 2 or 3. The meaning, it's for your practice.
oh, only 2 or 3. That's it. Okay.
Yes, only 2 or 3, exactly, but not all. Okay, if you have any doubts, that we can cover that.
Okay.